I got that working. All right, so yeah, hey, interstate commerce clubs. I was talking about this. The question is, if you're planting a garden in your yard, can it be regulated by the government, the federal government? Okay. Well, what if you get the seeds from another state for your garden? So you get your tomato plants, your corn. What else you grow? You guys have gardens? Jalapenos. I like to grow potatoes. They're easy to grow. Strawberries. A lot of strawberries. What if you get those from another state, the seeds for those? See, here's the thing, guys. Anytime businesses cross state lines, it's called interstate commerce. This is what the government uses to regulate you. Okay, so you guys, we were talking about OSHA. Okay, Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration. So that was what Biden was trying to do with the mandates that say if you have more than 100 employees, they have to be vaccinated. Okay, they were trying to run this through this. This is a federal agency, a national government agency. So they control things like if you're building a house and you're working on the roof. So the rules for roofers, the people that are on the roof, like they have to be harnessed, okay, because it's dangerous. And if you're not harnessing your roofers, you're violating OSHA rules, breaking the law. Okay, so putting a garden in your backyard with seeds that are bought in another state really seems like interstate commerce. And so the government can regulate your backyard garden. Yes. So although it may not seem like they can, if you get the seeds from another state, they can. Okay? And that is how government gains power. It's through the Interstate Commerce Clause. Prior to the 1930s, guys, they didn't really even use it. Now they use it all the time. Okay? So that's the answer to that question. All right? Now, you guys, one of the days I was gone, I gave you 3 questions. Remember that day? I said, yeah, start working on a business idea. Okay, raise your hand if you have an idea. Okay. Do you have that sheet of paper? Okay. Then let me see your sheet of paper. Now, we're going to be open about this, okay? We're going to share ideas. Look at you got like paragraphs. Yeah. List any ideas I have for business. Firewood. Okay. My favorite business idea, target market. Anyone who uses a wood stove or during the winter. Okay. How much startup cost? Okay. Do you have an axe? I have an axe. You have a log splitter. Okay. You've got a chainsaw. Okay. Now, as far as finding the trees that you're going to, you got the trees. Okay. Now, are you legally allowed to cut down those trees?
So basically, all I have to do is wrap them.
So, wrap and advertise. Okay. So, are you thinking like, well, you call this a brick? Is it a brick? No, a big load of firewood is called a load. Yeah, there's a name for it. And there's like a half and a full. I think it's a rick. Not sure. Okay, so you might want to look that up. Okay. Because I remember when I first moved to Wichita, it was cold. I moved from the south. So the first day we moved in our house, December 1st, 95, it was freezing. And so we started using the fireplace. We don't use it anymore. But I have fire pit, right? How many of you guys have fire pits now? That's kind of like a new backyard activity, right? So this is probably a growing business, okay? And that might be your angle, because, you know, for your fire pits, you know, for the fall or the spring and what have you, like that's kind of your niche, your niche, okay? So, what else we got? What did I do with that? Did I give that back to you?
Yeah.
All right. Dog deterrent spray. It tastes bad for shoes and shoelaces. Okay. Another idea is pediatric dentistry. Okay. And professional home organization. So this is really like, so helping people get rid of their clutter.
Yeah, it's like those small.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Busy moms, it's your target. Anyone who wants to declutter, start anew. Middle-aged women. Okay. That's good. That's good. Cost. Okay. Travel expenses. Business cards. Website. Cost of a website. There are free websites out there. There's one called Wix. I think it's called Wix, W-I-X. Have you guys done this before? Website design? Okay. I did one for my master's program just a couple of months ago. And they're pretty easy to use. Building your own website. Okay. And you can get as elaborate as you want on that. Okay. And you'll need you have certification. Like, so, I mean, you're going to need a business license. Okay. What else want to share? Got anybody living down? Okay. Houses, rental. What's that?
You know how cold we're
Uh-huh.
like.
Uh-huh. Okay. Would you think about like manufacturing those? Like making those yourself? Or
Yeah.
do you know how to do that? Okay. Okay. All right. Jewel, got an idea yet? Okay. So are you good with carpentry and that sort of thing?
No, but my dad does it.
Okay. So with your dad? Okay. Andrew, got an idea yet? Okay. All right, well, guys, anybody else want to share? Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Okay. Yes. Okay. So like now, okay, now you have partnership. Okay. Now we could allow that. Are you guys like best buds type thing or acquaintances?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you run into a lot of trouble when you have a partner. You know what I mean? The power struggles. You know what I mean? Because some person might put in a little bit more time and effort than the other person. Then right away you've got a problem. You know what I mean? So you got to think about that. What you got, man? Barbershop. Okay. You know how to do that? Okay. All right. So the big thing's going to be the overhead. Now you can start in your house. You know what I mean? Like find a room in your house that you can do this, and then build up clientele, and go from there. And then look for the brick and mortar place where you get walk-ins and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean that is something you can run out of your house for sure, and that saves a lot of money. Okay, unless you are the homeowner. Okay, which one day you will be. Okay. But that can help propel you to becoming a homeowner. So, anybody else? Thoughts, ideas? Okay, so let's just go over a little bit here. I pulled this PowerPoint from the same place that I got this business plan thing from. Okay, so figuring out your niche. Okay, so when you do market research, where do I get information? Okay, you can look at things like the U.S. Census. Okay, you can look at how many other competitors you have. You know, there's barbershops, okay, but everybody needs a haircut. Now, to be honest, what I'm wearing right now on my head, I shaved myself. Okay, I've got a little razor, electric, and I have a six on the top and a 3 on the sides, and I did that all by myself. Okay, just up the sides straight up. Okay, I don't know how it looks, but it's easy. Okay, and I was home with COVID, and I was just like bored, shaved my head. Okay, so yeah, you've got to look at your market. Okay, so I really like the idea for the shoelaces or the shoes that repel dogs. Like, you're a male carrier, all right, and you want these shoelaces. Now, it's got to be a scent that turns off dogs but not human beings. Do you have an idea for that? Okay, so that would take some research on what smells repel dogs, right? I mean, and then if you could do that didn't affect humans, you might have something up your sleeve there. Sometimes, guys, these ideas like this are just like a novelty item. You know what I mean? Like, people would buy just because they have extra money and they're like, this is kind of fun. I could give this as a gift, right? And if you sell 1 million of those novelty items, and you make $1 on each one of those, that's $1 million. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that kind of idea. When they talk about solving a problem, like, you go through your day and there's a problem, dog's chasing me. Okay, how can I fix that? How can I solve that problem? Okay, or what trends are happening? Okay, so that's kind of your market research. Okay, so as you kind of come up with an idea and do a little bit of research, why this is important, why this would work. Okay, then you got to narrow your focus. Okay, and so, like, Tim, I like your idea with firewood. Okay, how do I target this consumer? Okay, and you live in suburbia. Okay, and I have a fire pit, and I bought it during COVID. You know what I mean? Like, I was visiting my sister in Tennessee during COVID, and they had a fire pit, and we sat out by the fire, and it was awesome. And I said, I see a fire pit in my future. And I got home, and I went to Menards, and I got a fire pit. And then I got one for Christmas. Somebody sent me one for Christmas. One of those cool ones that, like, suck in the smoke. I haven't used it yet. It's still sitting in the garage. But I didn't ask for that, but I got it. So now I have 2 fire pits. Okay? If I really like this new one, then somebody can buy mine. Okay? So you might think about adding an option with yours to selling fire pits with your firewood, like a package deal. Okay? Set you up, because people like convenience. They don't want to go to Lowe's and look for one, and they don't know the right kind. And you can do all that for them. Okay? So that's your target market, your target customer. Okay? Find the differences between those two. How to package, brand your business. Okay? So with the eyelash thing, the nails thing, how do you package that and brand it? Yours needs to be different. Yours needs to be better option. Okay? And so That's something you really need to focus on is what makes my product stand out over others. That's your branding, okay? Marketing materials to educate people, okay? So like with the firewood thing, safety, protocols with fires and stuff like that. Okay, something that can be personalized, that, for each consumer, that if you want to go to that extent, okay. Yeah, and then this, this is, with the haircut, with the barbershop, okay. And what makes you stand out? Okay, it's a competitive market. Can your business survive in that market? Okay. Competition factors on business viability again, and then what's your potential market size? Okay, are you staying pretty small? Is this something that you would want to grow into an international type business, or you're going to be very localized? Okay, who are your competitors? If this is a trend, will it go flat? Okay. Some things will last a lifetime. Some things just kind of come and go. Okay. Can customers buy it locally? And who are those target customers? Okay. So those are little things, and I can put this slideshow up on Canvas. Okay. And then business supplies and inventory. Okay. This is where, if you have a business that actually works, like the eyelash thing, okay, you're going to need stock. You're going to need materials, okay? So you've got to look at those different avenues of where you can buy those materials that you need, okay? Another thing to look at, do you want this to be all online, an online business, or do you want to actually have a place that sells the product? Or do you try and get your product into the marketplace, into stores? Okay. And then inventory needs, okay, those are things that you've got to be prepared for just in case your business takes off. You've got to be ready for it. Okay. Of course, that's going to be, this is going to be the feasibility. Okay. Do I have the money to do this, to start this? Okay. Do I need investors? So how much is it going to cost to get this up and running? Okay. And then once it's up and running, how much does it cost me every month to operate? Okay. Will I have enough cash flow to do the things I need to buy inventory and so forth? And then having a backup contingency fund. These are things to take into consideration. Okay. Now, I'm going to pass out a good copy of this. One that's not upside down. Okay. Okay. All right, so just let's read through this a little bit, okay? Though there are 9 components of a comprehensive business plan, your task is to create a basic business plan. Using the portfolio of information you have collected over the course of this unit. Your focus will be 4 components you learned about in unit lessons presented, okay? So, executive summary. Often considered the most important section of a business plan. This section briefly tells your reader where your company is, where you want to take it, why your business idea will be successful. If you seek finance, if you are seeking financing, the executive summary is also your first opportunity to grab a potential investor's interest. The executive summary should highlight the strengths of your overall plan and sometimes be the last section you write. However, it usually appears the first part of your business plan. So what would you include in an executive summary if you're starting up a new business? If you're just starting a business, you won't have as much information as the established company. Instead, focus on your experience and background, as well as your decisions, the decisions that led you to start this particular enterprise. Demonstrate that you have done thorough market analysis. Include information you need or gap in your target market and how your particular solutions can fill it. Convince the reader that you can succeed in your target market. Okay. So the next section says, how do you define your target market? Okay. So there's a bunch of different factors here: age, location, income, education, marital status, family status, occupation, or industry. Okay. And you, like when you listed with your home organizing thing, middle-aged women. Okay. I know, like, most of your houses, now everybody's different, right? So at your house, different levels of disorganization. I don't understand how when I walk in somebody's house and there's nothing on any surface. You know what I mean? Like, just spotless. The house is spotless. I don't understand how people do that. Okay. Obviously, they're very organized. Yes. Especially when it comes to things like mail. So organizing your mail. Yeah. Your catalogs and bills and so forth. Okay. And putting those in a place where they're not in view. Okay. So that really encompasses, I would say, anybody that lives in an apartment or a house. I mean, that's a big group of people. Okay. So you get into the nitty gritty here. Okay. There's nothing quite like demographic data to zip your target market into a nice little package. Demographic data includes things like age, gender, income, occupation. Now, when you talk about income, so people that are struggling with income are going to make choices about what they're going to spend money on. Yes? So, what's your target market for eyelashes? Is that going to be expensive? Or is it something teenagers can afford? Okay. All right. So you've got to look at that. Like, what income can afford or want my product? Who's going to want this? Okay. By determining how much of this information as you can understand the type of consumer who would buy your product. Why should you know that your target market includes architects and soccer moms? With a well-defined description of your ideal customer, you know exactly who to sell to, what they need, and how to convince them they should buy from you. This isn't to say that you should go out and ask your customers a bunch of personal questions. However, a casual survey could prove helpful. You can ask your customer questions like, how did you hear about us? What are your plans for the product you've purchased? You'll be amazed at how many customers love to talk about themselves, especially when they're a big fan of your product. The following is a list of some things to consider when defining your target market's demographic profile. Use this list to help yourself envision and understand your market. By having a compilation of such data, you've pretty much found the person who needs your product, wants your product, or will buy your product. It keeps you focused on who you are serving. Okay? And then there's more on page 2, ethnic background, personality, attitude, values, hobbies, interests, lifestyles, behaviors, buying habits, geographic location, political affiliation, or leanings. Okay, back to the eyelashes. Who wears these? Okay. Do women in their 20s wear them? 30s? 40s? Okay, so we're looking at young women. Yes? Yeah. Okay. Now, what about transgenders? Okay, people that like to cross-dress. Okay, is that like something, I mean, you could find a niche there, you know what I mean? Like targeting that group of people. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that working. I think when you try and narrow in on something specific, it helps you organize your thoughts on this, okay? Now, what kind of hair do you like to cut? Any kind of hair? Can you do African-American hair? Okay. And is that different than doing your hair? Okay, so you know the different styles. Okay. And so you want to target what do you like doing the best? What do you think you're best at? Yeah. What kind of haircut?
Papers.
Okay. So short on the side, going bigger on top. Okay, we got a lot of that going on. Right? Can't see the size of yours there. But, okay. Yeah, okay. And then like little designs and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Do some, what do you call them? Designs? Okay. All right. So, have you cut anybody's hair at Bishop Carroll? Okay. Like how many? Okay. So testimonials. You know what a testimonial is? Yeah, and they say, man, this dude knows how to cut hair. You know what I'm saying? And pictures, right? Photographs. Okay. You could set that up pretty fast. Do you have a social media? Instagram? Okay. So you could set that up pretty quick. You know what I mean? On Instagram. You know, hairstyles. Bye. You know what I mean? And you could probably do something with that. Like you can make some money. Now, where do you do it generally? In your basement? Okay. So have you like designed the basement? Have you like you got some stuff up on the wall? You got mirrors?
No, I have like mirrors and like.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. So man, I think tell you what, if you can organize this, you can make some money. I mean, 10 is nice, but 100, 150 is like you're making some bank. You know what I mean? And then you get the repeat customers. And then you're set. Then you raise your prices. But you can give free haircuts to start. You know what I mean? Just to get your clientele. And they're like, I like that. I'm going to come back. All right, well, $15. Okay, or $20. You know what I mean? But I think you're going to put yourself in a much better situation the more you invest in the idea and organize it. And then, you know, you got music. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's a whole thing. It's not just getting a haircut, dude. It's an experience. Right? Sell it. Okay. So that's a great idea, and it's a skill. Now, at some point, you need to look into the law, right? So what the process that we're going to go through here is, okay, how do I do this for tax purposes? What do I do with my taxes on this? Because it's cash business, right? So do you have a Venmo? You got that? Okay. How many of you guys have Venmo? Do you know what, does anybody not know what Venmo is? Do you know what Venmo is? You know what it is? You know what Venmo is? I don't either. My wife has it, but I don't know. It's connected to your bank account. Okay, and so I can send you money from my Venmo, and you can send me money from yours. Use it a lot? Use it a lot?
Use cash.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we'll have to get into, guys, is, and one thing might be licensing for you. Like if you got 10 buddies that you cut their hair, but if you start to grow that, you probably need to get licensed. Okay, but now licensure takes place at the state level. For hair cutting, you go into a salon or Great Clips, where I usually go. They have a license. Okay, so you may have to look into that just for your security purposes. Okay, because what happens if you're using that razor and you cut somebody? You have insurance for that, right? So those are things, you have to invest in. And you're investing in yourself, but at the same time, you're protecting yourself. Okay? So, all right. We have several people in here that don't have an idea yet. So I don't want to get too far ahead. Those of you that have 3 ideas or a couple ideas, try and narrow it to 1. Those of you that don't have an idea, get an idea. Okay? It doesn't have to be extravagant. And it could be something like an app. Okay, Mason's, who's not here, is talking about doing the bundling of TV options, right? Your Roku, your something besides cable television, okay, where you can bundle those packages and set that up. I've been hearing a ton of ads for this app, which is a fabulous idea. So like this weekend when I was homesick and my daughter was playing volleyball in Kansas City, there's this online thing called Baller TV where they live stream the volleyball game. I had to pay $7.99. It's a monthly subscription, right? Well, guys, I'm only doing that once. So, but it's a monthly subscription that I signed up for, so that's going to show up on my bill next month, on my credit card bill, right? Well, guys, you kind of forget about it. And so if I don't cancel that subscription, I'm going to get charged $7.99 a month. Well, this new app's come out that breaks down your monthly subscriptions on your credit card bill, so you know, like, oh, that's due on this day. That's what I'm being charged for on my credit card. It organizes that so you can go through and cancel those. In fact, you can hit a button to cancel that subscription on this app. Have you guys heard that advertised? It's a great idea because I do that all the time. Sign up for, a subscription for something like the newspaper or a magazine. I want to read this article, so I got to sign up for $2 subscription. Well, it's going to charge me every month. It's a problem that a lot of people have. Now, I'm sure these people that sell the subscriptions don't like this app, right? So I think, you look for a problem out there, something that you can solve with an app or a business, some idea, Okay, so those of you guys don't have an idea, you need to go through the day thinking about something comes up that you don't like. What can I do as a business to fix that? Like being chased by a dog. Right? Something bad that happened to you during the day that you didn't like, that annoyed you. Like the school lunch. There's all these programs out there now where you can buy meals and have them delivered to your house. You know, like Weight Watchers has always had that, but there's these other meal programs based on specific diets that people want to do. And so they send them the packaged food, ready to cook. Okay, because for that reason. So is there something COVID related? I don't know if we're going to have COVID forever, but I saw like somebody put a store in a mall, a COVID-19 store. We could buy all the supplies you need because of the pandemic. I mean, there's a problem out there. Can I find a solution to it? Okay. All right. So start. If you don't have an idea, you guys need to get an idea. Okay. Otherwise, I can't keep